Another eventful night at Petco Park. This is the Jurickson Profar series. He is putting himself into the spotlight just all around in Major League Baseball. If he not was already in that spotlight, man, has he done it in these two games. The walk-off last night, and let's just break this down. There's the walk-off last night, right? Arise gets walked in front of him. Profar thinks that's disrespectful. Chip on the shoulder, right? And I totally understand that from Profar's perspective. I love that. That's what sports is about, right? The competitiveness. You hold that chip. You think someone is disrespecting you, you go at them and you go win on the field. And that's what Pro did last night. And he went at the Nats bench. Like, he'll say that he was pumping up the Padres fans, and he was. But first, if you look at that again, I mean, he was pointed at the Nationals dugout. The Nats didn't like that, which I guess is understandable. I probably wouldn't like that if I was a Padres fan. And the Nationals walked off the Padres, and it was Jesse Winker doing that to us. So understandable. Then today comes, Profar is up at the plate, and Keibert Ruiz, the Nationals catcher, gets in Profar's face, wanting to make sure that Profar knows that he didn't appreciate that. The Nats didn't appreciate that. And the bench is clear, which was a waste of time. I mean, I liked seeing that the bench is cleared because I think we were kind of expecting that, but we didn't really know if it was going to happen because sometimes it doesn't happen. They just want to just keep playing baseball, and whatever happened yesterday is what happened yesterday. But it didn't, and these two teams remembered what happened. And so I do have an appreciation for that. And so bench is clear. Schilt, Davey Martinez, they go back and forth. Profar just wants to play. And Mackenzie Gore hits Profar in the foot on the first pitch of that at-bat after the bench is just cleared. And Mike Schilt gets ejected, not Mackenzie Gore. The umpires issued warnings to both sides, I believe. And Gore doesn't get tossed. Now, Gore, was it intentional? I don't think so. You could see the reaction from Gore, or Mackenzie's just a great actor. But Schilt said post-game he didn't think that it was an intentional thing from Mackenzie Gore. But still, I don't care if it's intentional or not in that situation. You give warnings to both sides. The guy that is at the center of all of this is up at the plate, and he gets hit right after what happened. The pitcher's got to go. Pitcher's got to go. It's just as simple as that. I would have said the same thing if this was roles reversed and a Padres pitcher hit Jesse Winker. You got to go. That's just what it is. And so the umpires, I think, screwed up there. I get it. He wasn't intending to do that. I don't feel like he was. But if you're the umpires, I think you got to at least not throw Mike Schilt out just for coming out and being pissed off about it. Like, if you're the umpires, don't you understand why Mike Schilt would be pissed off about that? So I thought that was funny when Mike Schilt said post-game. I was waiting to do my reaction, by the way, because I wanted to hear the Schilt press conference after this game. And he's like laughing that Mackenzie throws 98 at Profar, and I'm the one that gets ejected from across the field. Like, what are we doing here? But then after that was obviously the captain's moment. Manny, his signature moment for this season. We know it's been a struggle at times, and he's still dealing with the injuries, right? But talk about what a captain does. I mean, no Mackenzie Gore, no Washington Nationals. You're not going to get away with this. We're not just going to allow you to hit our guy, and your starting pitcher's not going to get ejected, and you guys are just not going to feel it at all on that scoreboard. Nope. I'm taking you deep. And by the way, what I loved about it, it went over Jesse Winker's head, who was almost in the stands talking with a 66-year-old Padre fan after his team got walked off last night. Like, what are you doing there, dude? So that was great, seeing that ball fly over his head. Hopefully he enjoyed that view. And just how loud that crowd was. Again, it felt like another playoff game. Everyone in the building knew what was going on. It didn't feel like it was just, fans enjoying a Tuesday night. No, Those that went to this game knew what was going on. They were there not just for the Ha-Seong Kim bobblehead, but they were there to enjoy this show, to see what was going to happen. And the Padres, boy, did they deliver. What a moment that was for Manny. And the Nats broadcasters did not like it, but Manny was walking to first base and turns to the dugout, gets them pumped up, and how everyone, it was like a college softball home run celebration. You know how everyone's out there? Not now in college softball, they're all at the plate. Not everyone was at the plate, but you have Profar there waiting. You have Crony. And then the whole Padres team, they're not just in the dugout waiting. They're outside the dugout waiting for Manny to dap him up. Like that's just this team, it just feels different. Totally different than last year, obviously. But you know how 2022, there were those moments where it was like, yeah, this team's together. Yep, there we go. We're seeing those moments. We've seen so many moments already this season that remind me of that. So as much as we can say, yeah, well, Ben, there are only 2 games over 500. Yeah, that's true. But again, these signs that I'm seeing is super encouraging for just the rest of this Padres season and what's to come. And when you have these moments, I feel like it's going to end up in at least a postseason appearance, and then we're going to see what happens. This doesn't feel like all these moments are going to end up not mattering because the Padres don't make the postseason. So what a moment there. And then obviously that's not the end of it, right? I got to give credit to guys like Donovan Solano and Jake Cronenworth for coming through in situations. Crony made it 4-3. And then Solano comes through, makes it 5-4. By the way, there was that piece or that tidbit from Kevin Acee in his Padres Daily today about how it was Pham or Solano. Padres deciding between those. And the Padres went with Solano for about a third of the price. And Solano has produced about the same as Tommy Pham. So look how that move is working out. You know, AJ Preller, talk about an AJ Preller game right here. You trade Mackenzie Gore to the Nationals in the Soto deal. Adam Major, one of your guys, gets the win over Mackenzie Gore in the Nationals. Jurickson Profar, your $1 million guy, ends up being huge. Manny Machado, the guy that you gave a huge contract to, and you gave him another big contract as well, he comes through with a huge home run. Jake Cronenworth, the guy that you gave a huge contract to, an extension to, 7 years, I think, right? 7-year deal. And you traded for him. No one knew who this guy was, and he comes through. Donovan Solano, a guy that no one else was signing, you pick him up. He comes through. Robert Suarez, to end it, the guy that you decide to pay over Josh Hader, he comes through with a save. I mean, just moment after moment, player after player in this game, you could point to AJ Preller and be like, yeah, props to you for that. Props to you for making that move. And, you know, Adam Major was good enough to keep the Padres in it. Obviously, it helps when the Padres score 9 runs in this game. The Jurickson Profar grand slam, obviously, though, like, that's just a moment that I was not even imagining. I'm like, when that happened, is this actually happening? No way he just did this. He just hit a grand slam when he had a walk-off last night. There's benches clearing. He gets hit in the foot. And then he punches back with that huge moment. So Manny already stepped up for him with the homer in the first. But Pro's like, no. I'm going to step up here for myself. I'm going to punch back for myself and have a huge moment like this. This is the Jurickson Profar series. If the baseball world had not already, now I know he was leading in all-star game votes in the outfield. So, you know, those that are voting at least, they know Jurickson Profar and what he's doing this year. But if there's casual fans around the league that did not know how good Jurickson Profar has been this year, now they know. Because this is the series that's going to be on those MLB Network shows, those talk shows tomorrow. It's going to be Padres Nationals and what has happened over the last couple of nights. What happened tonight? That's what it's going to be, you know, the front page, if you will. And Jurickson Profar deserves it all. I love this celebration in the dugout, by the way, where I don't know if he was I thought initially he was pointing to the PS patch, the Peter Seidler patch, but then he was pointing like, "This is our house." So whatever it was, maybe it's a combination of those. I loved that moment. Just the sequence of events, the drama, the freaking drama that happened here. And we'll see what happens tomorrow, right? The series is not over. Still got game 3 tomorrow, Padres Nationals. But just these last couple nights, the walk-off, staring at the Nats dugout, pumping up the fans, making it known that, yeah, you disrespected me for walking Luis Ariz to get to me. No, no, no. You're not just going to sit there and not pay for that. And then the next night, Keibert Ruiz tries to play tough guy and makes his thoughts known. Bench is clear. You hit Profar. Manny steps up for his teammate and says, no, you're going to pay for this. And then Profar himself hits a granny to take this game totally out of reach for the Nationals. I know they made it, 9-7, but that was the moment right there to make it 9-4 with the home run there. It was 5-4 in that spot. So that's another clutch spot for Pro to step up, and he did. What a freaking moment. Moments in this series. These are games that we're not going to forget. When we look back on the 2024 Padres, however this year ends, we're going to be thinking about these couple of games against the Nationals and how freaking fun these past 2 nights have been.